Hey, True Believers, Chris Mack coming at you with Blackest Nights, issue 5. And this picks up immediately after Green Lantern, issue 48. And now all the lanterns are finally coming in to the Blackest Night story. Here it says, the Blackest Night will descend upon us all, without prejudice or mercy, without reason. The 7 cores will fall, as will the universe, back to a place devoid of light, of emotion, of life. So you start to see why the Black Lanterns are doing what they're doing. Necron is their leader, and he wants to bring the universe back to darkness and death that they perceive as peace, which we know that's not the case. Now, it's kind of interesting because Hal's saying let's all light up, basically charge our power rings. And the only thing that kind of bugs for me particularly is I wish, this is just me, I wish they would have just kind of left it at this, or after they see everybody bringing up their lanterns, we get a gorgeous splash page, which, don't get me wrong, astounding work there. I mean, look at the clash of the inks, the color palette, the pencils, just looks good. But at that same time, everyone has to have their own saying. And it's just kind of like, I don't mean to be mean, but I'm like, who cares? And then, like with Indigo Ones, you can't even understand the Turake-san, born Nakamura, Naturama Font. If anybody knows what she's saying, let me know, because I have no idea. And then while everyone else is calling off, I like how Larry Fleet just goes, eh? Like he doesn't quite get what everybody's doing. Now, before we continue on, let's talk about who made this book. This is Jeff Johns writer, Ivan Reyes pencils, Auclair Albert and Joe Prado doing inks, Alex Sinclair colorist, Nick Napolitano doing the lettering. Then there's everyone else working on the book. And I have to say, out of all these ones, I think Atrocitus is my favorite, just because while everyone else kind of just has the emotional light spectrum, because the Red Lanterns run on blood, it's just a very gory thing to look at. And now everyone else is like, come on, Larry, please. He's like, I'm hungry. Again? You vowed to assist us against the Black Lanterns in exchange for a guardian, Larry, please. I have pledged to sacrifice my freedom and serve you once we eliminate this darkness. I want more than you, Guardian. I want a feast, a planet-wide banquet with all to myself. I wish to swim in lakes of great liver jelly and more smosh fizz. Promise me that too, Guardian. Promise me. Or I'm taking my ring and going home. And Atrocitus is like, let me kill him. A plausible solution. We could follow the orange ring to whatever glutton it latches onto next. And it only seems to be that St. Walker is the one that can kind of get through to him. Your attack on the Blue Lanterns is forgiven, Larfleeze. As long as if you are within the vicinity of my blue light, you will feel no hunger. All will be well. Yes. The hunger fades, but I could go for some dessert. Well, here's the cherry on top. Wham! And even though the Orange Lantern is one of the most dangerous ones, look at where his power levels go. 100,000%. That is intense. And then Hal. The Rainbow Rodeo's locked and loaded, Ganthet. So where's this big Black Lantern? And that's where the story kind of picks up again with Flash, the Ray, and Mara trying to toe the line against Necron, William Hand. And this is where Flash realizes that who stole Bruce's skull, I think it was back in Blackest Night 0, was Hand. And he goes, that skull, you're the one that dug up Bruce's grave. Get your damn hands up. Ugh! Emotional tether manifested. Now, keep that in mind because that kind of becomes a big play in the rest of this story. And then all of a sudden he's like, don't worry, Flash. I won't disturb your body. You aren't my type. Ugh, nice of you to swing by. So one Green Lantern baddie, huh? and they're talking about Necron. And then in comes what's his name? Wally. Now, this is where everything, the continuity is still sort of in place before New 52 and Rebirth sort of shat the bed on everything. So they're talking about how they're trying to work together. And I'm guessing this is what made the skies go pitch black. Kyle mentioned a Necron before, some kind of alien entity that's able to animate the dead. Looks like he got an upgrade. Along with Blackhand, I feel like I need a shower just listening to him. The bad guys have changed since the days I was a kid to your Flash. Now I'm your Nightwing to your Batman. And this kind of reminds me when we went over Death Metal. Listen to what Barry says to him. He goes, "You're the Flash to my Flash, Wally. The more the merrier. But on top of the Grim Reaper and his Halloween troop, we've got 7 million people clawing their way out of their graves. So tell me you're not the only one coming. We don't have a Flash Corps to back us up, Barry." And then we get this gorgeous splash page. But what I hate is up to this point, we haven't really seen Diana. We haven't seen any of them except in their standalone books. So just kind of seeing the main Justice League into the fray as Wally says we've got plenty of friends. It's great to see Gar and Bart, Ice and Fire, and of course just the Teen Titans and the Justice League working side by side. Ray fighting against his wife, taking on Mira. And it's just hard, especially see what happened to Damage after the last time we were visited in the Blackest Nights story. I don't want to give too much away. And then Ray's wife, I can't remember her name off the top of my head, but she takes them. She says, "Let's go under the sea." And they dive into one of the black rings. And that's kind of where we're left with them. Now, one thing that I will recommend, and I used to have this book, but I sold it a long time ago. Each character sort of has their own standalone comic within the Blackest Nights, like Superman, Batman, the Titans, etc., so forth. And I think it's Titans, the last one that's important, because Bart's talking about Dove. She goes, "Good news is no one's really sure how or why, but when the Black Lanterns try to take Dove's heart," Dove of Hawk and Dove? I thought they were both dead. "There's a new Dove, Barry, a girl. When the Black Lanterns try to take Dove's heart, she lights up like a Roman candle and burns them up, and they don't come back. So somehow Dove's tapping into the white light the Lanterns were talking about. Let's get her front and center." So you see as Dove's walking through, just destroying the Black Lanterns left and right. So I need to go back and get that book because I cannot remember why Dove was so important in that regard. Now they try to take on what's the bad Lantern's name in this one? I can't remember if it's not. I think it's Scar. I think. But he's ready to take on Barry. But before anything can happen, once again we are treated to a gorgeous splash page of all the Lanterns diving in and just lighting up. We're just going to call him Thorn because I cannot remember the character's name. But gorgeous, gorgeous artwork as all the Lanterns dive in to attack. And it's just, whoa, Lanterns, you will feed our Lord Necron. And then Lair flees. I love that in the midst of this drama and evil, a Guardian, I want this one. She's different from the others. And what's different is worth more. Now they're trying to attack the Black Central Battery that was on Atrocitus' homeworld, which has now come up on Earth. But here, while they're attacking it, Thorn, if you guys know their name, Scar or Thorn, one of the two, she goes, "Guardians, your lie is about to be exposed." Because, I don't want to spoil that page. You guys are going to have to pick up the book and read. But, a certain somebody comes back. And remember that emotional tethering I was talking about? It infects all of our beloved characters that have at one time in history died. And, some really horrible things start to happen while still trying to get two of the other characters that have escaped death. So yes, Blackest Nights issue 5 is sort of where everything starts to come to a focal point, bringing all the characters in, and it is just one hell of a ride that I highly recommend. If you guys have enjoyed what you've seen, please first and foremost support your local comic shop or wherever it is that you can get your comics and action figures. And if you've enjoyed this review, we really would appreciate if you take a moment to like, share, and subscribe. Helps the club channel more than you could possibly know. And if you don't mind hitting that fancy little Necron bell next to subscribe, that way we can template content. You guys get notified. Come to the channel, and we love talking with you all and hearing your thoughts and feedback down in the comments below or our social media pages, which I'll make sure to leave the links down in the description. So with all that said, I appreciate every single one of you all stopping by. Hope you all continue to have an absolutely amazing day reading, and happy hunting, true believers.